SoFi's down over 2% today. Should you be worried? I own SoFi and you probably do too. Let's take a look at it right now. We're jumping right into the SoFi chart. Now, I bought SoFi yesterday via long options at 23.39, and the price of it as we speak is at 23.34. So it's only down a nickel. So I'm okay with that. I will be getting out if this happens at 23.09 just to start with. That would be my stop loss following yesterday's low. But so far, SoFi looks good. Now, we're going to take a look at all the stocks that I have on right now, but thank goodness, SoFi is still on the board. Now, let's continue on here. Welcome to the OVTLYR Trading Room. My style of trading using OVTLYR is called the golden ticket trading strategy. And it starts with, what is the market telling us? Now, remember yesterday, we talked about this. We had a little bit of a controversial signal on the SPY because we got a sell signal and our chief strategist said, hey, you know what? That's probably noise and it's going to flip back to buy today. That's exactly what happened. So no stress on that. We do have a bullish trend on the SPY with the 10/20. In fact, let's jump into the SPY real quick. And we can see the green overlay that's going to pop up here in just a moment means it is in a bullish trend. So it's got the 10 over the 20, price over the 50. That is our bullish trend template. And it's got a buy signal today as well on the SPY. And then let's go over and look at market breadth. Now, market breadth is hot right now. Market breadth is hot right now. Nearly every sector is pumping on all cylinders with the exception of energy. Let me pop that back up. I didn't mean to close that. With the exception of energy, every sector is hot right now. And that includes the market. So we have bullish market trend, bullish signal, and bullish breadth. That's where we want to be. Next, we need to go look inside of each one of these sectors to find the fear and greed, as well as the breadth scores. Now, that should be done in just a moment here. I'm currently in several different sectors. I've got some stocks in the material sector, in the industrial sector, in the discretionary sector, and the financial sector. So kind of all over the place, right? So if we looked at the financials, for example, what we're going to see here is an increase in the heat map value, right? Meaning it's getting more greedy in that sector. We're going to see a growth in the number of buy signals in that sector. So a bullish crossover there. And then we're going to see more uptrends and less downtrends, which is represented right here. So overall, breadth is really hot in pretty much every sector except for energy. So let me introduce myself real quick. I am a random guy on the internet. You shouldn't, and this is actually something I'm going to have to do from now on. We had a conversation yesterday. Don't listen to anything that I say. I have the opportunity to buy or close any of my trades at any time without letting you know. My name is Christopher Uhl. I've twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I was mentored by 5 of the market wizards, the best traders of all time. I've been successfully trading since 2009, and this is where outliers like us save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. So go and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, before we look to add any new trades, we have to make our exit strategy in place. Okay, we have to put this in place. Reduce risk before adding any new trades. So first, let's take a look at VKTX. Now, this is one that I own. I've already rolled VKTX. And I don't see any exit signals in place. What would my exit signals look like? Remember, before we get into any of these, right? There are no expectations on the outcome of the trades. There are no profit targets. I just have a plan to get out when one of my exit signals is hit. And if nothing is hit, then I don't have to do anything. So first, a market exit. A SPY closed under the 20 EMA. That's not going to happen today. Let's go over the SPY. SPY is actually up on the day. SPY is up on the day, if you can believe it, right? It was brutal, no good, very bad. Everything is going to zero earlier today, and now the SPY is up. Who would have thought, right? That's what a bull market does for you. If the sector and market breadth cross over and anything that we have, that would be a close everything that sector signal. We don't have that. And none of the outlier channels are going to give us a -1 score today. So for that reason, I don't have any market exits. Now we dive deeper and we look at the chart exits. So let's start at the top with VKTX. It is not below my half ATR, or I really should say not below the prior day's low. That's the trailing stop right here, not below the prior day's low. Also, the heat map exit. Let's go to VKTX. Karani's new, and she is here to learn from the random guy. I get it, but don't listen to anything that I say. Please don't. I'm just a random guy who has no idea what he's doing. Our fear and greed value has gone up to 38.65, so it's pushing up in the direction that I want to see. My actual target is a heat map exit of 63. And then I believe that's pretty much everything that I need to know about VKTX. So VKTX stays on. We're using the prior day low, and this is something we do need to know for tomorrow. Even though the prior day low is lower tomorrow, right? Imagine we're on this candle here that doesn't exist just yet. If we look at the prior day, it's going to be lower than this candle right here. You are not allowed ever in the history of time to move down your stop. I learned that directly from a market wizard, Larry Height. The receipts are on YouTube. He was the first $1 billion hedge fund manager. I remember him specifically telling me this. You are never allowed for the rest of your life to move a stop down. So we won't be moving it down. It will be at least as high as 39.88 tomorrow on VKTX. Let's go to Gilead Sciences. Ooh, Gilead Sciences is 10 cents under my stop out point. Let's see what it's doing on the 5-minute chart. It's really considering it. I'm going to let Gilead work for a little bit. We may need to close this by the end of the day, but we're going to let that one work. GMED is dead, so I do need to take off GMED right now. For sure, hands down, no doubt whatsoever. GMED is off. Now, why would I look to close GMED right here? Tell me in the chat, what about GMED says that I need to close it? I'll wait. What about GMED tells me that I need to close it? What about GMED? And I am waiting for audience participation in the chat. Tells me that I need to close it. Okay. 2 seconds here. I am just closing it right now. I'm out of GMED at 395. So I am completely out of GMED right now. And the fill price that I got was 395. So small loss is what it is. But right, it moved up. We rolled it. And then it came back down. So what is our actual net on this one? What is our actual net on this one? So I bought GMED at, hold on, we'll do the math together. I bought GMED at 659. Okay. I bought GMED at 659. Okay. I rolled it once already. So I took in a credit of $2.10 yesterday. All right. Now today I just closed it for $3.95, which means a 54-cent loss on $6.59 divided by 659 means it was an 8% loss. An itty bitty tiny loss that really did nothing for me. Really did nothing for me. And you know, that's part of the game, right? And yes, it was because it was below the prior day's low. Absolutely. Very good. Very good. Very good. Everybody got it. All right, let's do Morgan Stanley. This is one I actually want to look at for a new trade in a little bit. And that one doesn't have any reasons to get out, clearly, if I'm looking for a new trade. Let's do SGI. SGI, looking at this one, this doesn't have a reason to get out for me either. Let's go check the heat map target, 82, SGI. So David, I thought we only used prior day slow after we rolled the option. This is a new rule that I did implement during our mid-year review. And basically, you know, I am fully on board with a close below the prior day's low is the trailing stop at all times, at all times. If you're in a big, beautiful uptrend, it really shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't happen. So looking at SGI, fear and greed values at 78. So we haven't quite hit 82 just yet. So SGI looks pretty solid. I don't have a reason to close it. SGI stays on. Let's go to Etsy. Etsy recovered really nice today. It's up slightly from where I got in. And there's nothing to do on Etsy. Let's take a look at this here. Etsy. Oh, and really good question from the chat. I actually did put all of this in the Discord earlier. I did not put in new setups just yet, but I did go through all of my trades that I have on and showed what the heat map score was, where I'll get out if I need to. All right, so I'm taking care of this well ahead of time. There are no excuses. Etsy looks fine. Heat map target is not hit just yet. It's at 75.63 on the fear and greed scale. So I'll continue to hold it. SOFI. I am still a SOFI bro right now. Yes, still a SOFI bro. Let's go look at the heat map on SOFI. Got that buy signal. And the heat map value is at 74. My target heat map exit is at 81. So in the meantime, still a SOFI, bro. Looking good. All right. Still a SOFI, bro. I mean, I can sleep good tonight knowing I'm a SOFI, bro. MIR is dead. MIR is dead. MIR had some news about insider selling today. Yeah, the CEO sold 500,000 shares yesterday. Could we have known that? Is there anything we could have done about that? No. But people are moving because of that news. So I need to get out of MIR ASAP. ASAP. So let me go close MIR. And if you are following in the Discord, Joe is posting everything that needs to be done in the Discord. And I really appreciate Joe for doing that. Ooh, getting all my mirrors filled. Okay, that was a lot of orders I just went through. Close this one here. So I'm out of MIR at $1.40. So let's do the math on MIR real quick. MIR, I got in at $2.30. Just got out at $1.40. That is a, I was on the wrong line. That is a 39% loss on the option. So a decent sized loss on the option. But what did it do to my portfolio? I can tell you not very much. Let me do the math. What did it do to my portfolio? 4%. Right. It took 4% out of my account, unfortunately. That's part of the game. I still have 96% of my account left. And I'm trading at a 7% risk size. So it's slightly over half of the max risk I was willing to take. And Delta Airlines, look sharp, nothing to do, good to go. So Joe is dropping that information in the Discord. Really appreciate Joe for doing the hard work. So that allows me to focus on the, and if you see any blanks, I asked Joe to leave that for me so I can update that in a bit. So thank you, Joe, for that. All right, let's continue on. I'm done with my existing trades. All right, moving on. Congratulations, Don. Go ahead and tell me your success stories in the chat. I would love to feature you, and the way that you can help, if I've helped you out in any way, the way you can pay me back is by telling everybody you know about OVTLYR. Now, we talked about this earlier. What are the sectors telling us? The sectors are telling us everything is like bullish AF. Bullish AF. So next, let's run the screener, right? Basically, everything that's not energy would be considered for me today. So when I ran the screener, it was a buttload of stocks. I mean, legitimately. Let's copy this over like we did a moment ago. Let's copy this over and let's actually count how many would have come through from yesterday and today. I gotta load more. So many. So many. Right, yesterday and today is way down to here. Yes. Okay, so let's count that. That's crazy talk. That would be how many? So many. Look at all these. So many. All of these are in bullish sectors. Every single one of them is in a bullish sector. So we take off that title right there. That's not, that can't be right. That can't be right. 937? That's impossible. What about over here? No way. That's got to be counting on my blank cells. How about this? 54? That sounds more appropriate. 54 sounds a lot more appropriate. I was going to say 937. No way. 54 potential setups. That's a lot. That's a lot. Now, what do you do? What do you do when there are that many? It's really not that hard. I do like to filter. Now, you don't have to do it this way. This is just something handy for me. I like to copy it, paste it over, and then I sort it by outlier returns, outlier backtests. That's what I like to do. Now, you're probably asking yourself at this point, what is outlier and how does it work? Well, Uncle Warren used to say, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Outlier shows you if investors are acting irrationally fearful or greedy and by how much, allowing you to get in the stock before the outlier move happens. Now, if you're ready to save time, make money, start with less risk, it's just 3 easy steps. Head on over to OVTLYR.com, grab the annual pass for just 82 cents a day, like Robert did earlier. Then if you are on the monthly plan, you can upgrade with one click and save 64% off. Start using the OVTLYR 9, which I'm showing you how to do right now. And then step 3 is sit back and relax because you just found the easiest way to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk. And now, what are the stocks telling us? Right, there's a lot of stocks, a buttload of stocks. Right, let's start at the top of this list over here. Right, I don't know if I'm going to make these trades. So don't jump the gun on here. I don't know if I'm going to make these trades. So if I filter them from highest returns down, SE came in pretty close to the top. So looking at SE, let's go to the options market. Richard says, wow, that is a great value. That is a great value. SE. All right. So if we're looking at SE, there's lots of different strikes to choose from, right? We can go as far as like August 29th, which has some good liquidity over here. September 5th, September 12th, September 19th, September 19th. Now we're talking, there's lots of liquidity over here, right? So what are we looking for? What are we looking for? Well, first off, we need to go look at the charts, right? Let's confirm a couple things before we get too deep into anything. Let's go over here to this list with SE. One thing that I want to make sure is that I don't open a trade where it's below the prior day's low. Right? We can see the prior day's low is right there. That would be a no-no if it came down below that point for me. We're not there yet, so that's a good start. A couple things we want to check for. No earnings in the way. The price is above the 10. In fact, I need to delete this one here. That's kind of redundant at this point. Long setups above the prior day's low. All right, that looks good. Now, what about when we get to the options chain? What if we look at the options chain here? Start with the highest backtest and work your way down. That's what we're doing. Confirm the OVTLYR 9 is set up. Okay, let's do that. So it's got a bullish trend. Right, 10 over 20, price over 50. We see that. All right. The signal. Let's go to SE. I found that from the screener, of course. Let's go to SE. And we can see it does have a buy signal. All right, that's a good start. Next, the fear and greed is rising. Less fearful, definitely much more greedy. And any OVTLYR blocks on top of SE? I don't remember seeing any. No. So if this fits your plan, and I'm telling you right now, don't do it. I'm telling you right now, don't listen to anything that I say. But if it fits your plan, and only if it fits your plan, this could be an opportunity for you. If and only if it fits your plan. And for me, it does fit my plan. And I am getting filled at 1325. I'm in at 1325 on SE. So I am in the September 19th. Now let's talk about how I picked the option strike. 21 days to expiration at the minimum, 250 plus open interest, less than 50 cent bid-ask spread, 20 to 30% or less extrinsic value puts us really around the 80 delta. So looking over here, where's our open interest at? We could probably go with this one here, the 160, which, wait a minute, I got filled at 13. I must have gone one lower than that. Right here, there we go. 694 is plenty. In fact, the delta actually has changed since I looked at it last, and that's okay, part of the game. 439 on $13 is how much? 439 on $13. 0.36 now on 1305 is 33%. All right, I'll be very honest with you. I had this loaded up. It's changed a little bit, 33% because I've already put it on. I'm going to let it run. Is what it is, but it's got plenty of liquidity and I'm very confident in this trade. And if it doesn't work out, I'm going to get out. Remember, we talked about this earlier, right? There are no expectations. Here it is. There are no expectations on the outcome of the trade. There are no profit targets. I have a plan to get out when one of these signals is hit. And even though pricing changed just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and hold it. And that's okay. That's part of the game. Let's go on to another one. Let's look for another one. So I am in SE and I got in right around 173.80. We'll call it 173.80, Joe. That's where I got in. 173.80. Come on. Just want to get this to 173.80, 173.8. All right, cool. So let's go look at the next one, BE. Right. Remember, I was really close to being all the way in the market. Now I have enough for probably one more trade. Let me see how much this is going to cost me approximately. Probably have enough for that one. That would be it. I've already got in SE. Unfortunately, I don't have unlimited funds. I do have a lot of funds, but not unlimited. Not unlimited. Bloom Energy. That's a great question, Justin. I thought energy was bearish too. Let's go look at that. BE. That is in the industrials. BE is in the industrials. Unless we're looking at different BEs. Let's double check that. This is the Bloom Energy Corporation. Bloom Energy is not an energy stock. It is a industrial stock. Not my fault. I didn't put it there. Somebody, whoever they set up the SIC codes or whatever the kind of codes it is, put it in the industrials. And that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. So looking at this one, it's getting more greedy, right? That looks good. Okay. It's got a buy signal. All right. So we're checking our OVTLYR 9, getting more greedy, and 10 over 20, price over 50. Any order blocks on top of BE? No, no order blocks on top of BE. Now, which option strike should we choose? Which option strike should we choose? Hey, dude, I'm glad you asked the question. I'd have been thinking the same thing too. And I love that little image you got there. I love you got the image right there. Okay, so I'm looking at BE. I'm looking at the September 5th. All right, so it probably is liquidity. Oh yeah, it's September 5th. Which one do you think that Chris would be interested in, right? 307 open interest. $1-ish or so on 760 is way less than 20%. And let's see where I can get filled. Filled in BE. Gloriously done with incredible skill in making YouTube videos. This is why I don't like to do it live. The first one I got in one account was 765. The second one I got in, thanks to you guys stealing it from me, was 780. Not happy with that. So Joe, racket is 780, please. The price is 44.80 right now. 44.80 right now. That is why Chris likes to trade before going live, but also it makes much better content. Makes much better content. 44.80. There we go. All right, cool. So we're in BE as a new trade. We're in SC as a new trade. I am all the way in once again. Took 2 off, put 2 on, and yeah, I don't have very much cash, so there's no possible way that I could put on another trade. Of course, as you saw, I had to make some adjustments on the fly. All right, so it's going to be all the trades that I put on today. Now, let's go talk about where we're going to get out of these trades. It's all fun and games to put on new trades, but where are we going to get out? So, somewhere in Hawaii says, can you please give us the trades in Discord before the YouTube? Unfortunately, no. Right? We're trying to make this as easy as possible for all parties involved. What you just witnessed was me fighting with you to get filled. And it sucks. I hate that because people who are watching live are trying to get in. People who are on the Discord are trying to get in. I'm trying to get in. Everybody's trying to get in all at once. That pushes the price up, right? We don't want to do that. So normally, and like I say, I was stalling on purpose today because I wanted to see how these trades would pan out. Normally, the plan is I'm going to put on any new trades right before we go live, which I needed the funds, obviously, from closing the others. Elsewise, I would have done it already. But I'll put on the trades before going live. I'll let our alpha group know, our recent graduates from OVTLYR University know. They will then post in the Discord, and then YouTube will be actually the last place. YouTube would actually be the last place. So it is what it is. That's part of the game. Let's talk about where we're going to get out of these trades. So let's go to BE, and the current heat map value is at 70.06. So for me, I would give that a 10-point score higher. Show you my slide on that one. 10-point score higher since it's at 70. So a heat map target of 80. 80. Heat map target 80. All right. Now let's add our stop out points and our ATR points, our 1 ATR points. So let's do half an ATR down. So the ATR values, I'm going to just auto calculate on here. There we go. Makes life easier when I can just throw this on here. Then we're going to do 1 ATR above. That would be the point where we roll the options. And another one where we would roll the options. All right. So done with BE. It's that simple. It's that quick. It's that easy. Let's go to SE. Shane says, I like the way you did it yesterday, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, I liked it a lot better too, Shane. It's a lot more chill. But, you know, I had to see what these guys were going to do, and that's part of the game. All right, BE's or SE's Fear and Greed heat map is currently at 34.82. And if I'm going to get anywhere, I'd get out at 63. So we're going to let that run from 34.82 to 63 if we can get to that point. Let's go to SE. Heat map target of 63. Very cool. And let's add our lines on here. We're actually going to use the prior day's low, right? That's definitely a lot closer than the half ATR. That's by design. We want to keep our risk as low as possible. One ATR above and another ATR above. And that's it. That's it. All right. So we got into 2 new trades. We got into SE. We got into BE. We got out of GMED and what was the other one we got out of? GMED and MIR. Both of those are dead. They're both dead to me. And because of that, I'm done. I'm done for the day. Unfortunately, you know, it was a little bit harder of a day than we're used to, but that's part of the game, right? Might be tomorrow, and we can do all kinds of big, beautiful things, big, beautiful gains. So thank you all so much for coming to today's OVTLYR Trading Room. If you're here to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, click one of these 2 videos, and we'll talk soon.